Marcus Wellington stares into the mirror in the vast bathroom of his $50 million Beverly Hills mansion. The soft LED light reflects on his old face, a face that the financial press has become very familiar with over the past 4 decades. At the age of 68, despite the deep wrinkles around the corners of his eyes and the gray hair covering his head, his sharp gray eyes still exuded an unmistakable sharpness and power. The sound of the air purifier hummed softly in the large room, mixed with the sound of water flowing from the gold-plated faucet. Marcus bent down, splashed cold water on his face, feeling every cold drop of water touch his skin. He shivered slightly, not because of the cold, but because of the decision he was about to make. "Are you sure about this?" Dr. Sarah Chen's gentle voice rang out from behind. She stood leaning against the doorframe, holding a thick medical file in her hand. "This is not a joke, Marcus. If we go ahead with this plan, it will affect a lot of people." Marcus slowly turned around and dried his face with a soft Egyptian cotton towel. The smell of luxurious perfume wafted in the air as he walked towards his personal doctor. "I've never been so sure, Sarah. 30 years of building the Wellington Group empire. I've sacrificed so much time with my family. Now, looking back." He stopped. His eyes turned to the family photo hanging on the wall, taken on his youngest daughter Emily's 18th birthday 5 years ago. In the photo, the whole family stands together, bright smiles on their faces. But Marcus clearly knows the truth behind those smiles. Eldest son Kevin only cares about squandering the family assets. Middle daughter Ashley always tries to take advantage of her father's fame to advance her modeling career. And Emily, his beloved youngest daughter, seemed to grow increasingly distant after entering college. "I need to know the truth, Sarah. I need to know if my children really care about me, or just care about my money." Marcus clenched his fists, his voice lowered. "And there's no better way than to let them think I'm dying." Sarah sighed and opened the file. "Medically, we can do this. I have prepared a detailed plan to fake a case of terminal cancer. Symptoms, tests, and deterioration of your health. It could all be believably staged." "But Marcus..." She paused, her warm brown eyes looking straight into his. "This will hurt them deeply. Are you sure this is the only way?" Marcus walked to the window, looking out at the vast garden below. The morning sunlight shines through the trees, creating alternating light and dark patches on the green grass. The gentle scent of rose bushes, the flowers that his wife, Sarah, grew before passing away 10 years ago, wafted into the room with the breeze. "I've tried everything, Sarah. I've tried to teach them the value of hard work, the importance of compassion, but it seems the more money they have, the more distant and selfish they become." He turned back to the doctor, his expression determined. "I can't leave my legacy to children who don't understand its true value. I need to know if they still have any humanity left before it's too late." Sarah nodded slowly, understanding that nothing could change this man's decision. "Okay, we'll start next week. I'll notify the partner hospitals and prepare all the necessary documents. But Marcus..." She moved closer, placing her hand on his shoulder. "Remember that sometimes the truth can be more painful than we imagine." Marcus smiled sadly, his eyes once again directed to the family photo. "I've lived my whole life in numbers, Sarah. I'm used to facing the truth no matter how painful it is. But this time..." He paused, swallowing hard. "This time, I pray I'm wrong." That morning passed in silence as Marcus and Sarah finalized the final details of the plan. The sound of paper flipping mixed with the sound of wind blowing through the window, creating a sad melody that seemed to signal the tumultuous days to come. In the corner of the room, an antique clock ticked steadily, counting the seconds that passed, as if it were a reminder of the time that Marcus Wellington was about to pretend didn't exist much anymore. As dusk fell over the city of Los Angeles, Marcus stood alone on his bedroom balcony, watching the last rays of the day dye the sky red. The cold air of the late afternoon made him shiver slightly. From afar, car horns and city noise echoed like a familiar background music. He pulled out an old photo from his pocket, taken of the whole family on their last vacation before his wife passed away. In the photo, everyone smiles brightly, without any calculation or pursuit. "How do you feel about me, Sarah?" he whispered to the photo, his fingers caressing his late wife's face. "I'm about to do something crazy, but I have no other choice. I need to know if the love in our family still exists, or if it has died with you." The cold wind blew stronger, carrying fallen rose petals from the garden below. Marcus clutched the photo tightly to his heart, feeling the weight of the upcoming decision on his shoulders. Tomorrow, everything will begin. Tomorrow, he will step into the role of his life, the role of a dying father, waiting to see if love is still strong enough to overcome the temptation of money. 2 weeks later, news of Marcus Wellington's illness spread like a whirlwind among Los Angeles's upper class. Newspaper headlines raced to post. Billionaire Marcus Wellington discovered terminal cancer. The Wellington Group empire stands at a fateful crossroads. In the large meeting room of the Wellington Group building in the city center, the air was heavy and stifling. Kevin Wellington, 35 years old, Marcus's eldest son, sat motionless in an expensive leather chair, eyes glued to the laptop screen, showing plummeting stock prices. The bitter smell of coffee rose from the Starbucks cup, mixed with the smell of expensive perfume on his body. The sound of typing on the keyboard echoed in the silent space, only occasionally broken by heavy sighs. "Can't you think of something else?" Ashley, 30 years old, stood up from her chair, her expensive evening gown rustling. "Dad is in the hospital, and all you care about is the stock price." Kevin looked up, his eyes cold. "Do you think Dad wants to see his company collapse? We have to stabilize the situation. The market is panicking." Stabilize the situation? Emily, 23, the family's youngest child, entered the room with red eyes. Her long brown hair was messy, different from her usual neat look. "Dad is dying, and you're worried about the market." The space was engulfed in oppressive silence. From the wide glass window, the late afternoon sunlight shines in, creating long streaks of light on the glossy wooden floor. The noise from the street below grew fainter, as if the world was gradually receding from this room. "We need to calm down," Ashley said, her voice shaking. "Dr. Chen said Dad has about 3 months left. We have to—" "What to do?" Emily interrupted, tears rolling down her cheeks. "Waiting? Sitting here calculating the inheritance while Father is in pain?" Kevin slammed the laptop shut. The sound startled both girls. "What do you want to do? Will crying all day help Dad get better?" "We have to be realistic, Emily. This company, this property, it will all be ours. We have to prepare." Emily shook her head, disgust clear on her face. "You're so scary, Kevin. Don't you have any humanity left?" While the three brothers argued, Marcus lay on a hospital bed in the VIP room of Cedars-Sinai Hospital, listening to every word through the listening device Sarah had installed in the conference room. Each word was like a knife stabbing into his heart. The sound of the electronic heart rate monitor next to him rang out steadily, like a bitter reminder of the role he was having to play. "They're reacting just as I predicted," Sarah whispered, standing next to the hospital bed. "Kevin is worried about the company. Ashley tries to act concerned, but still doesn't really understand. And Emily's the only one who's really heartbroken, Marcus said, his voice hoarse. A tear silently rolled down his pale cheek. Maybe I was wrong to think that all my children were... He didn't finish his sentence, but Sarah understood. She placed her hand on Marcus's shoulder, feeling the slight tremble of the man once known as the Wolf of Wall Street. In that moment, he was no longer a powerful billionaire, but just a broken-hearted father. The afternoon passed, and the visits began. Kevin entered first, still in his elegant suit, but with a tense expression. He sat next to the bed, talking about the company, about the business plan, about how to sustain the Wellington Empire. Not once asked about his father's feelings, not a single word of comfort. Ashley arrived later, her makeup flawless as usual. She sat down, held her father's hand, and said sweet words about how well she would take care of him. But Marcus noticed her eyes often glanced at her phone, where messages from the modeling agency continuously poured in. Emily came in last, when dusk had fallen on the city. Unlike her two older siblings, she simply sat by the bed, held her father's hand tightly, and cried. Don't talk about money, don't mention property. There was only pain and the pure love of a child for his father. At night, when everyone had left, Marcus lay alone in the darkness of the hospital room. City lights shine in through the window, creating magical silhouettes on the wall. The sound of medical machinery still echoed steadily, like an endless, sad song. Sarah, he called softly, knowing his personal doctor was still in the room next door. I'm not sure I can continue anymore. Sarah walked in, the hallway light casting her long shadow on the floor. We could have stopped at any time, Marcus. No one can blame you. Marcus shook his head and swallowed hard. No, I have to know the truth. I have to see with my own eyes what they will do when they think I am about to leave. I need to know if love is still strong enough to overcome greed. Sarah was silent for a moment, then sighed softly. Okay, but remember, sometimes the truth is not what we want to see. Marcus looked out the window, where the stars were twinkling in the Los Angeles night sky. I've spent my life building an empire, Sarah, but perhaps in the process, I've lost something even more important, a real family. A month passed like a long nightmare. Marcus Wellington's luxurious hospital room has become a familiar destination for countless people. From business partners to close friends, from journalists to financial experts. Each person comes with a different purpose, but they all carry a common question. Who will be the heir to the Wellington Empire? That morning, as the first rays of sunlight filtered through the curtains, Marcus was sitting in his wheelchair, looking out at the hospital garden. The strong smell of antiseptic mixed with the scent of flowers from the bouquets of fresh flowers filled in the room. The sound of high heels tapping on the tile floor signaled Ashley's arrival. "Dad," her voice said, sweet as honey. "I have good news. I just signed a contract to be a brand ambassador for a major cosmetics company. They said that a story about a model dealing with the pain of losing her father would create sympathy from the public." Marcus felt a sharp pain in his chest, not from his fake illness, but from his broken heart. "Are you planning to use Dad's illness to advertise?" "Dad, don't think so negatively." Ashley sat down, her expensive silk dress spreading out like a flower. "This is a good opportunity. You can raise awareness about cancer and, at the same time, make money from it," a cold voice interrupted. Kevin walked in, looking tense. "You really have no shame, Ashley." What about you? Ashley stood up, her voice harsh. I heard you're secretly meeting with investors, discussing restructuring the company after Father. After Father is no more. The air in the room was thick with tension. Marcus closed his eyes, feeling the headache gradually spreading. From the hallway came the sounds of nurses arguing, the sound of a cart rolling on the floor, and somewhere in the distance, the cry of a child. "Children," he said, his voice weak. "Dad, I'm tired. Let me rest for a while." But neither Kevin nor Ashley seemed to hear. They continued to argue, exposing each other's plots and carefully prepared plans to take control of the family assets. Each word was like a knife stabbing into Marcus's heart. "Enough!" Emily's scream echoed in the room, causing everyone to turn around in surprise. She stood at the door, her face wet with tears, her hands shaking, holding a stack of papers. "I just talked to my father's lawyer. Did you know that during the past month, while you guys were busy fighting over property, Father quietly donated more than half of his assets to organizations? Charity?" Silence covered the room. Kevin staggered and had to hold onto the wall to steady himself. Ashley slumped into the chair, her face pale. Marcus slowly opened his eyes, looking at his children with sad eyes. "You can't do that," Kevin stammered. "It's our family's heritage." "Heritage?" Emily smiled bitterly. "What is our legacy? Is it the fact that brothers and sisters are fighting for wealth while Father is still alive? Is it the matter of turning the family's pain into a tool to make money? Or is it forgetting everything that Father has done? Teach us about the true value of life." Marcus felt a tear roll down his cheek. In that moment, he wanted to stop everything, wanted to tell his children that this was just a test. But he knew it was too late. The truth was revealed, ugly and painful. Sarah Chen walked in, her face serious. "I think Mr. Wellington needs to rest. Everyone, please leave." When the room was left alone with Marcus and Sarah, he turned his wheelchair toward the window. The sun was high in the sky, its bright rays shining down on the bustling city of Los Angeles below. Convoys of cars lined the streets. People were busy with their daily lives. No one knew the tragedies taking place in this hospital room. "How did I create children, Sarah?" Marcus whispered, his voice pained. "Where did I go wrong?" Sarah placed her hand on his shoulder, her voice gentle. "Don't blame yourself, Marcus. Maybe this needed to happen for them to realize their true nature. But the price?" Marcus paused, looking down at his thin hand. "Emily is the only one. She looks so much like her mother." Sarah nodded. "Yes, Emily has her mother's heart, and Kevin and Ashley. They have the heart of a businessman," Marcus said, his voice bitter. "Just like the old me before meeting my wife. Perhaps that was my biggest failure. I failed to teach them that money isn't everything." 2 months after that fateful argument, autumn has arrived in the city of Los Angeles. Yellow leaves scattered in the hospital garden, where Marcus Wellington was sitting in a wheelchair, basking in the gentle afternoon sunlight. The sound of birds chirping on bare tree branches blends with the sound of the wind rustling through dry leaves. Emily sat next to her father, reading an old book, a story that her mother used to read to all 3 of them when they were children. The gentle scent of a cup of chrysanthemum tea rises in the chilly autumn air. It's been 2 weeks since Kevin and Ashley last visited. After hearing about the charity donation, they hardly appeared anymore. "Emily," Marcus spoke up, breaking the silence. "Do you regret it?" Emily looked up from her book, her eyes surprised. "What regrets?" "About being with Dad all this time. I missed a lot of opportunities in my career." Emily put down the book and took her father's hand. Her warm skin touched Marcus's thin hand. "Dad, I'll never regret it. Career, money, all that can wait. But time with you, it's priceless." Marcus felt his heart sink. In that moment, he realized he couldn't continue lying to his daughter anymore. "Emily, I have something to tell you." But before he could speak, urgent footsteps sounded from behind. Kevin and Ashley appeared, looking completely different from previous times. No longer their usual elegance and luxury, they both seemed tired, even somewhat haggard. "Dad," Kevin spoke first, his voice shaking. We were wrong." Ashley stepped forward, tears rolling down her cheeks. "We've spent the past month thinking about everything that happened, about how we behaved." Marcus looked at his two older children, trying to find signs of deception. But this time, there was only sincerity and genuine regret in their eyes. Kevin knelt next to his father's wheelchair. "I've spent my whole life trying to become a successful businessman like you, but I've forgotten the most important thing you ever taught me: that true success is not measured by the amount of money in your account, but by the things you do. Loved one by my side." Ashley grabbed Emily's hand, her voice choked up. "You were right, Emily. We forgot the true meaning of family. I'm sorry." Marcus felt tears rolling down his cheeks. In this moment, he knew he had to tell the truth. "Children, I need to confess something." And then, in the gradually falling sunset of an autumn day, Marcus told everything. About the plan to fake his illness, about his real purpose, about the painful days of watching his children fight for money. When the story ended, the whole room fell into a heavy silence. "Dad," Kevin was the first to speak, his voice choked. "We deserved it. In fact, we probably deserved worse." Ashley nodded, tears still falling. "Father, you have given us a lesson that no amount of money can teach." Emily sat silently for a moment, then suddenly hugged her father tightly. "I understand, Dad. I understand why you had to do that." Marcus looked at his three children, his heart aching but also filled with hope. "I'm sorry for deceiving you, but I hope this has helped us realize what's truly important." Sarah Chen, who had been silently observing from the beginning, walked up to Marcus. "Sometimes, the most valuable lessons come from the most painful experiences." As night fell on Los Angeles, the Wellington family sat together in their hospital room. Not like billionaires and heirs, but like a real family. Kevin and Ashley talk about the changes they've experienced over the past month. Emily makes tea for everyone. And Marcus, he just sat there, listening, observing, and feeling the love that was gradually healing the wounds in his family's hearts. "Sarah," Marcus called softly once the children had left. "I think we succeeded." Sarah smiled, looking out the window, where the stars were sparkling in the night sky. "It wasn't us, Marcus. It was love that won. And sometimes, we need to lose something, or seem to lose it, to realize its true value." Marcus nodded, feeling a strange peace spread in his chest. Perhaps this is the real legacy he wants to leave behind. Not a business empire, not billions of dollars in the bank, but a lesson about the value of family love, about the difference between material values and spiritual values. Outside the window, the autumn leaves continue to fall, like old memories gradually disappearing to make room for a new beginning. In a warm hospital room, Marcus Wellington, who spent his life building an empire, finally found his most precious treasure, a real family.